Before you start self-improvement, there are 3 things you want to know if you want it to actually work. In fact, it took me 5 years, but once I really understood, and I mean really understood, what I'm about to share with you, my life drastically improved even as I read less business books, less self-improvement books, and watched less self-improvement videos. The truth is, for 99% of you, self-improvement won't work. But that ends today because I know when I started this journey of self-improvement, I tried meditation, I tried reading books, I tried watching self-improvement videos, I tried affirmations, and then flash forward a year later, my life was still the same. I was working the same job, making around the same amount of money, living pretty much the same life, but falsely believing that I was on the right path towards self-improvement. It wasn't until I made 3 fundamental mindset shifts and acted on these new beliefs that my life actually improved. And in this video, I want to share these 3 mindset shifts with you so you don't have to waste 5 years like I did. Let's get started. So in order for you to understand the 3 mindset shifts, you first have to understand why self-improvement doesn't work for most people. So let's go back to what most people do. Most people read books, most people watch videos, most people try to self-improve by learning something new. But there's a problem with that. It's because whenever we watch a video, whenever we read something in a book, we get satisfied. We get a dopamine hit in our brain that tells us, good job, you are now better because you know something new you can apply to your life. That's a problem because you haven't actually applied it to your life. And so as a result, your life hasn't actually improved. Have you ever been in a rut where you just want to get better, and you watch a bunch of videos on some new business model or some new way to make money or some new way to be happy, and then you feel like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, but you never do it. And you're just on this constant treadmill of consuming content. That is the reason why most people on this path of self-improvement end up not only not improving their lives, they end up on this path that isn't actually good for them in the long term because all they're doing is looking at how other people have improved their lives, what other people have done, and at the same time, they haven't done anything to improve the lives themselves. And in order to change that, you need to change 3 mindsets in your life. The first mindset shift is the mindset shift from consumption to creation. You need to change from consuming content to improve your life to creating content or creating new behaviors in your life to improve your life. Why? Because the doing makes the being. You don't become someone new by learning about it. You become someone new by doing the behaviors that fits with the identity of the person you want to become. In other words, you cannot become healthier or stronger by reading about push-ups or learning how to do the perfect push-up. You become stronger by actually doing the push-up. You become more disciplined by actually doing the action, going to the gym, making the video, reading the book. You get what I mean. And when you do that, you actually get to experience progress. And progress is something that also gives you that dopamine hit in your mind, but it's good dopamine. It's a different dopamine than the dopamine you get from watching a video, because it's dopamine that actually brought out results in your life. So instead of meditating, and meditating is good for some people need it, but if you want your life to actually have new results, have new opportunities, you actually need to do something. So instead of affirmations or meditation, adopt Alex Hormozy's mindset. Get up and work. Just do the work. And if work is too hard or you set too much work, do less work. Do something. Something is better than nothing. In fact, something is infinitely better than nothing. And so the first mindset shift is shifting from a consumption-oriented mindset where you're watching videos, reading books without doing anything to a creation-oriented mindset. What can you create in your life that will actually make your life better? Do that. But even then, For some people, they set goals and then are paralyzed by the goals. That's how most New Year's resolutions work, right? This new year, I'm gonna start that business, or this new year, I'm gonna fix my finances, or this new year, I'm gonna become healthier. But 3 weeks in, you're done, right? You're done and you're back to the old you. In order to fix that problem, you need a second mindset shift. And that is the shift from output-oriented goals to input-oriented goals. And so in order to actually improve your life, you need to set goals based on things you can control. And what can you actually control? You can control inputs. You can control the number of push-ups you do. You can't control when you'll get to a certain weight. You can't really control that. You can't control when you'll get 1 million subscribers, when you'll make $10,000 a month, when you'll get married. All of those are outputs. All of those are outcomes. You can't control any of that, but you can control the kind of person you are. You can control if you are kind, if you are thankful. Just say thank you to other people more often. You can control how many push-ups you do, how often you run, how many videos you make, how many cold calls you call. You can control those things. And as long as you are able to connect inputs or behaviors or actions to the goals that those inputs should generate, if you're able to make that connection, you will be well on the path to getting the results that you actually want. And so the second mindset shift is the shift from output and outcome-oriented goals to input-oriented goals. But for some people, even though they set these input-oriented goals, they are still paralyzed. They still don't follow through. Why? Because they have a track record of not being able to keep the promises they make to themselves. They have said so many times that they wanted to improve their life by reading a book or exercising or starting that business, and they failed themselves so many times that they are no longer able to keep the promises they make to themselves. They are no longer able to do what they say they would do. Now that's a problem, because if you are repeatedly what you do, and you repeatedly fail yourself, then you have that habit. That's now a part of your identity. And so it's super, super difficult to change. And so the mindset you want to adopt here is the shift from perfectly planned inaction to minimum viable action. And so in software land, in gaming world, there is a term called the minimum viable product. And the minimum viable product is a product with just the core features, right? Nothing extra, nothing special, that is now shipped to customers for feedback. And then what software developers do is they iterate on that product and make a better product based on the feedback they get from the customers. And so you can apply that concept in your own life to the actions that you take. Remember, the only muscle that you are training is the ability to keep the promises you make to yourself, not anything else. Don't even worry about the six-pack abs or making $10,000 a month. Again, that's an output-based goal that you don't want to think about. What you want to think about is, what promise can you keep to yourself? And so if you're finding it difficult to do the things that you said you would do, make the things you would do easier, even if they will make no difference at all to your actual output-based goal that you want. I know for a fact doing 1 push-up a day isn't really gonna make that much of a difference in my life. But if I'm actually able to do 1 push-up a day, then I've trained the muscle of being able to keep the promises I make to myself. And then one day, maybe I'll do 2. And then maybe I'll do 3. And then maybe I'll do 4. But it all starts with that 1 push-up. It all starts with that 1 video. It all starts with taking that first step. Going from $0 to $100,000 is infinitely harder than going from $100,000 to $200,000. And so stop worrying about being perfect and just get started. But starting doesn't guarantee success. And so if you want to actually become successful in building your own business or starting your own side hustle, Watch this video right here because in it I go over the lessons I've learned from trying to start and then constantly failing in the first 8 years of my online business journey.